Yeah. It's medical billing. And this is the guy that had a party, spent 10 grand, that became 12 grand, invited everybody that told him no. Yeah. Everybody that told him no. And it's quite remarkable. Who's my 530? Okay. The malt whiskey and the kilt trying is at 6, I believe, correct? 6. And the cocktails, etc. And I think he's going to give you bagpipe lessons. If you
lessons.
Want, not lessons, if you want to play the bagpipe.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And the...
you know how to blow. That was a mixed metaphor, I think, or maybe it wasn't so mixed actually. And then and you're gonna have a class in how to put it on your kilt if you need it, and your socks and all the other stuff. The gals have it easy because they don't have to go through that hassle. But I mean, this is the only transaction we look at because 75% of the deals you're going to do are going to look something like that. Something like that. And the not that it could only be $1,450,000. I'm not recommending that, but that kind of breakdown between getting credit cards involved, getting a line of credit, getting another line of credit from a different bank, and that's how these deals get done. The first deals. And then once you do that deal 5, 6, 7, 8 times, then you have equity, and then you can start doing deals much bigger, and deals like Peter's done in the past. We've been fortunate. I want to thank Peter for his time. It was great to hear his story. Of course, I know his story because I lived through this moans and groans with him during those 2 years, and And when you say, I always knew you could do it, okay, that's what they say now. Most people that say that are full of shit. They don't know that you can do it, and they're just giving you a compliment now because a lot of people will bet against you. And that's why when you refrain, remember, you are who you hang around with. When you refrain from naysayers, you don't want any negative feedback. You don't want any constructive criticism because criticism is criticism, and you won't consider it constructive. I mean, now if you've got a billionaire who's done 1,000 deals, say, did you ever think of this? Listen, but you're not going to be having any billionaire that's done 1,000 deals that is going to give you input. Okay, the only guy that is of that ilk is going to be giving you input for the next several months is me. And and 9 times out of 10, I will not tell you exactly what to do, but I'll point you in the right direction. And when you're filling out your weekly reports and you're going to have a question, you must give 3 answers, and you categorize your best answers number 1, your second best answers number 2, and your third best answers number 3. And then I will either say 1 is right, or I'll say none of them are right. Then I'll give you the right answer. But I want you to start thinking in terms of answers to problems, not just questions. Right now, you've been trained, many of you, to ask questions, and somebody senior to you will give you the answer. Well, at some juncture, there's going to be nobody senior to you, and the only person that can answer those questions is you. So I want you to learn to think critically that this is my best answer, and 75% of the time, one of your 3 answers or part of each one of your 3 answers is the right answer. But I can say definitively, the hardest answer for you to say emotionally is almost always the right answer. It's almost always the right answer because there's never a easy time to make a tough decision. And in the beginning, when you go through this learning process, in the beginning, some of these questions that you've got to deal with, some of these challenges you have to deal with are going to be gut-wrenching. Peter got up here and he told you it was hard for him because that's not his personality. And for the most part, it's none of your personality. For the most part, it's none of anybody's personality that comes to the seminar. But they still do it. I don't have any friends, so I'm okay.
Yeah, well, after being around you a few days, I know why you don't have any friends. Yeah, and it wasn't Josh's personality.
But, once you build up scar tissue, and you do not get better at the QLA model unless you're building up scar tissue. And people will lie to you, cheat you, think that you're, especially the kids, they'll think you're an idiot, and they'll try to take advantage of you. That just comes with the territory. And you learned how to deal with that. And your backstop is your chairman and your board. And if you can't be depending on your backstops anymore, then you got to get rid of them. And it's not easy for a 25-year-old to fire a 65-year-old, i.e. your chairman or your whoever. That's not easy. But if it were so fucking easy, there'd be a QLA store doing a joint venture with every Starbucks on every street corner. But it's not easy. I mean, even though this material is out there free for everybody, not many people use it. And they don't use it for the emotional bank account risks that we've talked about, because it's not. It's when they talk about a paradigm shift, although that's a cheap phrase, but this is truly a paradigm shift from the way you've been taught, raised, etc. And it's legal, moral, and ethical, and you can make a lot of money. Change 1 billion lives, and you'll get filthy rich, and then you can go save the world. Come up with an idea, or product, or service, not different than Facebook, who's now got 2.5 or 3 billion or wherever he's got on the books. Zuckerberg, hate him or love him, Facebook has changed the world. In my judgment, not for all the good, but I mean, it's certainly changed the world. Okay, and there are ideas. Elon Musk has changed the world. He put his foot up the ass of Detroit to change cars, because we could have had electric cars 100 years ago. He's put up the foot up the ass for aerospace. We could have landed rockets back on terra firma Earth 40 years ago. So he's changing the world. So now it's up to you guys and gals to go and do your part, and then join the rest of the Hall of Famers. We're going to have an extension on that wall, hopefully sooner than later. And enjoy yourselves tonight, but thanks for everything. Thank you.